Rounding turn 3 of the 2022 Texas high school football season. Welcome into week 8 of Friday Night Lights, fresh off of Southwest Airlines Flight 1665. I'm Curtis Quillen, back from West Virginia.
This guy is an airplane at this point. I'm Matt Lively. The heat on every game in Central Texas is getting cranked up each week. And tonight we have one of the most impactful games for a local playoff race that we might see until week 11.
Ellison and Killeen were thought to be the dark horses for a playoff spot in District 4, 5A Division 1, and here we are in Week 8, Matt, with that being exactly the case.
They make up half of a four-way tie for 4th in district at the halfway point of district play, with Ellison, Killeen, Shoemaker, and Granbury all sitting at 2-2 in that district play entering this week. So tonight is going to go a long way in shaping the playoff bracket.
It's our first game of the week inside the beautiful new Searles Stadium on Chaparral Rouse campus in South Killeen. There's Josh Sadler in this one, and there's Danny Servance as the Eagles look to figure out a way into the playoffs. You see the Eagles here, the long ball on the slant route over the middle. That gets them inside the 10-yard line here, but the Eagles come out hot there. That's Xavier Dormius there. Big first down. They finish the job. Zaire King puts it in for 6. It's 21-16 at that point. Rouse not so fast. Jaron Pettijohn connects with Timothy Boatner. Big first down. The Ellison defense, though, very, very good. Baylor commit Brendan Bett leads the way. There they tackle Jacoby Deloach, and then they're taking him down once again. Rouse go for the field goal here, but you see the kick never gets off. Snap goes haywire, and it's Eagle football near midfield. Yeah, that one. All Ellison from there as they take control in the third quarter. 27-16 is your final. You know,
it feels weird being in studio.
Yeah. You graciously gave up your front row seat once again, twice in 3 weeks.
Once again, but you know what? Nicole Sharon does a great job. That's why she's out there. Nicole, who are you with?
Guys, the Crosstown Showdown did not disappoint, that's for sure. The Ellison Eagles took down the Killeen Kangaroos. Final score 27-16. They continue their 3-game win streak, but the best part is they get to take home Week 8 Game of the Week trophy. Congrats, guys! Let's go! All right, Coach. That was a great game. You came out of the half actually trailing 16-14. So tell me what you saw from your team in that second half.
Well, I'll tell you what, a lot of characters, what I saw. I mean, a lot of guys who wanted to play for each other and give 100% effort, and they just hung in there, showed resiliency, and, you know, I can't be more proud of them.
Earlier this week when we talked, you really emphasized the performance of your defense so far this season. What did you see from that side of the ball tonight?
Well, I mean, they've been consistent. I mean, the same thing. We scored on defense, the grit, the never give up attitude, just the physicality of our defense. And so, like I said, again, I'm just very proud of these guys and the way they fought till there was no more time on the clock.
And then you also mentioned that your offense was peaking at the exact right time so far this season. The score can definitely agree with that. So what did you see from them tonight?
Well, you know, I just think they were steady. You know, they were steady. You know, we made some corrections at halftime. Guys came out, executed in the second half, you know, and that's what you want to do if you're going to win football games.
Thanks, Coach. And we have Brendan Bett here. Come over here. I want to get you in the camera. You had a great game tonight. What did you see from that defensive performance out there?
We knew going in that they were the top rushing offense. So, you know, we're the #1 run-stopping defense. So our objective was to go out there and dominate and just do what we do best, you know.
And you came out of the half trailing by 2. What was going through your head in that moment? How did you rally your team together and be a leader out there?
You know, I was upset. I was angry, you know, knowing they should have not been up. So I said, we're going to go out here, we're going to dominate, you know, we're going to go back and get in this game, let them know what we do.
And how are you going to carry over that momentum into your next district matchup?
This is going to be the same thing. Actually, we're going to step up the intensity next game, actually. So.
All right, step up the intensity. Well, it was a battle in South Killeen in a beautiful new Searles Stadium. I mean, what more could you possibly ask for? Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Nicole. We'll check in with you here in a bit. Matt Lake Belton sitting in second place entering this week. In that district, a massive clash still looming against Midlothian.
Big time, but the Broncos have a role in the 4-way tie this week as they look to improve to 7-1 in their first UIL season. Lake Belton hosting Granbury tonight at Tiger Stadium. Look at that final score, 69-14, the Broncos on top.
All right, let's keep rolling. It's jumped to 6A. Temple off its first win over Midway in a long while, hosting Hutto. the Hutto Hippos. We pick it up here. Temple punting toward the Hippos. Torian York makes the tackle for Ethan McGana to make a fumble recovery after a few failed running attempts, getting the ball back with Deshaun Brundage. Then here, they're going to go to Raymond Johnson. Everybody loves Raymond, especially when there's a touchdown involved. Touchdown Wildcats. Temple goes for the extra point. It's no good. So with less than 20 seconds on the clock, the Hippos making a charge down the field to try to get within field goal distance. But the Wildcats, there's the doinked PAT off the upright. So later, Hutto trying to get in field goal range. Can he get it off? They blocked the field goal. Going full 2019 Baylor. That ends the first half. In the third, it's 24-14.
Just had to throw that Baylor joke in, huh?
I had to.
Copper's Cove looking for its first district win, hosting Midway tonight. Look at that inflatable, only in Texas, folks. It was a peek out at Bulldog Stadium for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Panthers moving the ball up the field from the first snap. Quarterback Reed Tedford hands it off to running back Tom Hill and breaks through traffic with a spin move. Midway first down, but the Panthers come up just short, and they settle for this field goal from junior James Saddlefield. 3-0 Panthers. Midway stops the Bulldogs next series and brings the ball upfield once again. The handoff from Tedford to Hill. He pushes through into the red zone and into the end zone. It's Hill all night. He takes it, runs it in for the Midway 6, 10-0 at the end of the first. And then look at Midway getting the 24-21 win over Cove.
We're just ramping things up here on Friday Night Lights.
Up next, a local rivalry renews for the first time since 2019 when we go to Class 4A.
In 2015 and 2016, they met twice each season, part of a 5-year stretch where Matt, China Spring, and La Vega met 7 times.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. They were going at it tonight in La Vega. Let's get to the action. La Vega coming in here, needing a win. Could they get one? Not great when you have Cash McCollum and Trey Hafford just absolutely going out. Hafford says, "Get out of my way," into the end zone. Touchdown, Cougars. Ensuing drive. Why not try it again? It worked so well last time. McCollum to Hafford, Tud E.
Wow.
Yeah, all night long. China Spring rolls in this one, 42-7.
We've still got so much Friday Night Lights still ahead as we go to break. Let's listen to the from Cameron. We'll be right back. This is Friday Night Lights. Well, the Cameron Yeomen are on an absolute tear right now. Since dropping their non-district finale, they're 2-0 in district.
Yeah, and they ran away from an impressive Academy squad last week.
Yeah, so now can they keep it going visiting McGregor tonight? The Yeomen sure started it the right way as they're on the road. They didn't just win the Battle of the Bands. There's the man, the myth, the legend, Rick Rhodes. Yeah, this is how you send a message. The opening kickoff, Trajan Wilcox, the senior, finds a seam and takes off. Nobody's going to catch him. The nearest defender is in Moody. He tricks out Chris Radcliffe shooting this game. It's 7-0 Yeoman before they've even taken a snap next possession. It's Ladarius Bradley. Nice camera drive. It's very quickly 14-0 Yo. McGregor would make it a game at the end of the first. Here's Sebastian Torres with taking the handoff. Easy score, but it's all Yeoman from there. Final score in this one is 58-21. Nowhere near done on Friday Night Lights.
After the break, we're heading back to Khalid for our Game of the Week. That's going to come up in the live stream.
Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Mic check 1 2 1. Well, we love front row seats here on 6 Sports, and let me tell you, this Crosstown Showdown did not disappoint whatsoever. Final score 27-16 here at Searles Stadium. Now, the Eagles actually came out of the second half trailing 16-14. The Roos stuck it in there the first half, but that Ellison defense came to party. Led by Baylor commit Brennan Bett, they shut that thing down. There was a wild flip, a weird went over the kicker's head, recovered by the Eagles, but the Roos said not so fast, took that one back, but the Eagles laid it out there, 27-16 final, and one step closer to a playoff appearance. That's going to do it for the NBC portion. We'll see you on the live stream.
Entering tonight, just 4 weeks separate us from the 2022 Texas High School Football Playoffs. Welcome into Week 8 of Friday Night Lights. I'm your traffic cop, Curtis Quillen.
And I'm Matt Lively. We're going to hear from Nicole Sharon in just a moment. It's hard to remember, but at one point, Killeen wasn't the 5-horse town we knew in high school football. It started with Killeen and then came along Ellison.
And Ellison and Killeen were thought to be the dark horses for playoff spots in District 4 5A Division I this year. And here we are, the 8th week of the season, with that being exactly the case.
Yep, they make up half of a 4-way tie in 4th District at the halfway point of District play, with Ellison, Killeen, Shoemaker, and Granbury all sitting at 2-2 in District play entering this week. So tonight will go a long way in shaping the playoff bracket.
It's our first game of the week inside the beautiful new Searles Stadium on Chaparral's campus in South Killeen. The Crosstown rivalry officially made its way to the new turf as they face off for a pivotal playoff seeding game. Coming out of the half, Rouse in the lead right here, 16-14, but the Eagles come out hot. Xavier Dormius takes the snap, fires one to the left side, connects with Bobby Williams. Big first down. Eagles knocking on the door. Finish the job. Here is Zaire King. That's 6. It's 21-16. Ellison Rouse not so fast. Quarterback Jaron Pettijohn connecting with receiver Timothy Boatner for a big first down for the Rouse. But the Ellison defense, incredible. Led by Baylor commit Brendan Bett. They take down Jacoby Deloach, and then boom, there they go, taking him down once more. The Rouse going for a field goal here. Can he get it? No! Snap goes over the kicker's head. It's recovered by Caney Darrell, the running back. And so the Eagles get the ball back, and they're going to move it down the field. Ball handed right back to Killeen, though. They cough it up. It's a fumble. Yards from the end zone. Rouse recover the ball, and the third quarter. It's Ellison in the lead, 21-16. At that point, it's 27-16 is your final. Nicole Sharon live at Searles Stadium with this one. Nicole, Ellison doing everything it can to stay in the hunt.
Guys, we love front row seats here on 6 Sports, and Matt Lively has just been so giving and generous, letting me get to experience one for myself. But I'm telling you, this Crosstown Showdown did not disappoint one bit. Ellison coming into this game, 2-game win streak. The Rouse coming in, 2-game losing streak. And after the half, who's trailing? Well, the Eagles were trailing 16-14. But Danny Servants talked about it all week. He said this defense and this offense is peaking at the exact right time. And I think we saw that tonight. Brendan Bett came out second half. If you were listening in that post-game interview, he was angry coming out of the second half that they were trailing by 2. He led this team to a victory. They were unstoppable in the second half. Then you just talked about it, Kurt, but that field goal that was then flicked over the kicker's head, recovered by Ellison. Sorry, guys, it's really windy out here. But then recovered by the Kangaroos. It was a battle until the very last moments. Then the Eagles kind of ran away with it, 27-16. But I'm telling you, we know how to pick game of the weeks, and boy, was this a fun one to have a front row seat at. And we talked about it earlier. 4 of the teams in this district sat in 2-2, Ellison, Killeen, Granbury, and Shoemaker. And this just gets the Eagles one step closer to a playoff appearance.
Eagles get a win. Shoemaker, I'm guessing, gets a win because they're playing last place Waco High tonight. Granbury falls, Killeen falls. That what was a 7-horse race for 4 spots feels like it's down to just maybe 6?
Shrinking.
5?
Shrinking.
Something like that. So, Nicole, we'll check in with you here in a bit. Appreciate it.
All right. Let's check out some action from Thursday as Chaparral took on Rouse. Nice anthem there. Eddie Lena, pump fakes, finds Justin Cannon. My guy could crawl into the end zone at this point. Touchdown, Rouse, and keep your eye on number 4. He's going to be on your screen in just a moment, celebrating with his teammates here, and then Cannon gets another handoff. Forget about it. That's just about how it went the entire night. Rouse goes on to win this one 30-0. All
right, the Robinson Rockets, as we're talking 4A Division II, they're not the same team they were a year ago, and they struggled to back-to-back 2-8 seasons.
Yeah, the Rockets came within 9 of Salado in the district opener last week in a 5-team district as they hope to get their one needed win and get to the playoffs.
Rockets on the road facing Madisonville tonight. Yeah, this is a Madisonville team that is rising. You see here, blessing for the Mustangs. He gets the handoff, and he's gone. That extends the lead right before the half, though. It's Robinson punting here. Lorenzo Johnson, the long punt return, as he fields this one at the 40. bounces to the left side, finds a seam, jumps back toward the middle, across the 30, across the 20. I believe they say he stepped out. Nonetheless, the spin move was impressive. It leads to another touchdown. You see where this is going. 65-23, Madisonville wins.
Woo, big time. All right, 4A Division II, Salado looking to set up a district title clash with Connolly Eagles hosting Gatesville. First quarter, Luke Law over the middle finds a sliding Brighton Masser for the Eagles. First down.
Da-na-na, da-na-na.
Big time. Later in the drive, Law on the keeper from the 2. PAT makes it 7-0 Salado. Looked like it was going to be good for the Eagles at this point.
Yeah, especially after this next play.
Yeah, second quarter, handoff to Case Madigan, and he powers through 14-zip at that point. Can we get a final score on this one? Whoa, 49-35 Gatesville. The Hornets were stinging in the second half.
Sure, football's drunk this year, man. Lorena visiting Rockdale after the Tigers snapped a 4-game skid last week. Leopards on the doorstep here. Braylon Henry gets the handoff and looking like his old man there. Powering through 14-6 Leopards at that point. Rockdale needs an answer. Bladen Barchak hits Garen Marrero. Beautiful catch. You, sir, just got mossed. The drive, though, would stall. Lorena with the rock now. Kason Taylor. The off-tackle run to the left side. Cuts back to the middle. Cuts back to the middle again. Shakes, bakes, gets to the outside. Turns on the afterburners, and he gone down inside the 2-yard line, just short of the goal line. They're looking to cash it in, though. And so first team all name in Texas high school football. Jackson Generals to Jaden Porter, touchdown. You see where this one's going. All arena, all night on the road, 63-20 in the fourth.
I'm laughing. Those mosses don't mean as much when they don't score. All right, Troy on the road facing top-ranked Franklin tonight. First, Franklin's Court Lowry hands off to Jaden Jackson for a touchdown for the Lions. He's high-kneeing it all the way in, and that puts Franklin on top. But Bryson Washington takes it here for Franklin, and where's that ball going? On the deck.
On the
Fumble.
deck.
Trojans will recover, and that puts them in good shape as on the ensuing drive. Troy getting near the end zone here as they are walking off, and we've got a nice fan shot. Ethan Sorensen throws to Hunter Fowler. It's a touchdown. No one even close to him.
When have we seen Troy go play action?
Not me, not personally.
It worked out.
It did certainly work out. And then Franklin's Lowry will hand off to Bryson Washington, another touchdown. Troy certainly kept it close in the first half, but they fall 49-14 against the #1 team.
All right, so West has won 13 straight district games dating back to 2020, looking to keep the streak alive against Maypearl tonight. They'd have no problem taking care of business late in the first quarter. Maypearl quarterback Heath Graff looking to pass, goes over the middle. Jacob Boggs has other plans, though. Pick 6 there for the Trojans, their 4th defensive touchdown of the quarter. Yes, the quarter.
Wait, excuse, did you say that correctly? Oh, my God.
He picked off again. Gus Crane, the junior D-back, takes it all the way to the house. What? All right, who scored more, the West offense or the West defense tonight?
I hope the defense.
West scored on 3 straight pick 6s to end the first quarter. Little Trojan offense now. Coy Klisch gets the pitch, beats the Maypearl defense to the corner. No one's going to catch him. 65 yards on the house call. West would run away with, oh my goodness, 89-0. So let's go to Darren Wallace because I want to know more.
Matt Curtis, it was one of those games that was over before it really started. It was 40-0 at the end of the first quarter, and the Trojans scored on 3 straight defensive possessions, getting a pick 6 on all of them. Their offense was efficient. They were clicking on all cylinders. In games like this where you win in this manner, it's kind of easy to overlook perhaps your next opponent. Well, I asked head coach Dave Woodard, would the Trojans be doing that? He assured me that would absolutely not be the case looking ahead to next week.
You know, hey, the next game's a big one. It's Grandview, and you know they're ranked in the top 10, and you know they're undefeated in district. We're undefeated, and you know it's I guess it's really for the district championship. And so you know I don't think we'll have to do much to motivate them. They're excited about you know having a chance to repeat as district champs, and you know I think we'll come in and when it's time to go to work, and we'll be ready to go to work.
The Trojans cruise in this one to stay undefeated in district play. They'll travel to Grandview next week, who's also undefeated in the district, and Coach Woodard is saying it's essentially the district championship, and they'll be well prepared for that one. It'll be interesting to see how the home stretch of this high school football season unfolds. Reporting in West, I'm Darren Wallace. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thanks, Darren. Tonight's the first time in 3 weeks our game of the week has not come from District 8 2A Division 1. It doesn't mean it's not an interesting race even still.
Yeah, we basically left the SEC. 4 teams enter this week tied for second at 2-1. Bosqueville, Marlin, Rosebud Lot, and Riesel. We showed you the Cougars and Indians 2 weeks ago, but 2 more face off tonight. Bosqueville at home facing a Rosebud Lot team on a 2-game win streak. In the first, it's a run so good that it not only faked out the Bulldogs, but I personally was fully faked out as well. Kyle Finnan puts on the afterburners and runs past the Bosqueville defense, setting his team up in the red zone. Few plays later, he's going to call his own number, and the Cougars are on top 7-0. Ensuing drive, Finnan showing that he can run earlier. Now he's going to show that he's got the arm just a bit too much. He's bobbling it. You got to catch that thing in between the white lines. It really did not matter. Oh, it might have, my goodness, 53-52. Game in the fourth. We're going to have to get a final score on that one.
Holy offense. Okay, Axtell in its first year under Coach Craig Horn has the chance to make the playoffs for the first time since 2018, hosting Horn's former team, Italy, tonight. If you like defense, this was the game for you. In the first quarter, the Longhorns trying to move on offense, but Diedrich Owens of Italy says, no, sir. Third down, Longhorns would punt. Next drive, they don't punt on third down. That was third down. Then they punt, and then Axtell quarterback Colton Horn on the next drive finds Kelby Hollingsworth in the flat. Hollingsworth gets a couple of blocks, foot race, he wins it. Why no celebration? Because there's a yellow handkerchief. Block in the back, cancels the tutty. That Axtell drive would stall. Second quarter now, more defense from the Gladiators. Garrett Woods shoots the gap for a tackle for loss, forces fourth down for the Longhorns. Axtell would go for it on fourth down. Horn looking for Hollingsworth. Can't quite connect there. First half ends scoreless. Final score 21-14. Axtell!
There you go,
Are the Longhorns
Longhorns.
going to win? What in the world is happening tonight, man?
Who knows? Red Hot Crawford on the road tonight facing Moody. Already 21-0 when we arrive. Greg Jacobs coming off that good Marlin win. Moody forced a punt from deep on their own side of the field. Watch out for Breck Chambers. He decides to pick this thing up. That's not often advised. Makes a move, cuts it back towards the center of the field. Couple of blocks later, no one's going to catch him. It is 28-0. Pirates jump aboard the ship. Before the half, Pirate ground game just grinding 35-0 after this score. All Pirates tonight. They pick up the win 55-zip.
All right, Chilton came into the season sky-high expectations. So far has not disappointed.
No, in one of 2 major tests in district play last week, the Pirates beat a ranked Bremond squad 41-30 for their 6th straight win to open the season.
Hard to believe, right? Not at all when you look at this team. Chilton at Bartlett tonight as they continue to roll through District 13 2A Division 2. Second quarter, right before the half, Pirates hand it off to Dalen Ford. We've seen him do it before. He starts to the right, cuts back to the left, sheds a tackler, and it takes 2 of them to bring him down at the 2-yard line. Next play, they just finished the drive with about 18 seconds until the half. That puts it at 35-0. Chilton scored 14 points in the final 2 minutes and 1 second of the first half. 56-0 Chilton.
Hey, and I do want to say Rosebud Lot did win that game by a point, 53-52 over Bosqueville.
What a win for the Cougs. All right, time now for one of our favorite parts of the show. It's Gridiron Player of the Week.
Matt just gets
better every week.
It gets better and better. We recognize one outstanding performance from the previous Friday, and this week we head to Riesel, where one of the players stunned. Nicole Sharon is live at the beautiful Searles Stadium to tell us more.
Guys, one Riesel star said he had the best game of his life last Friday, and I'm telling you right now, numbers don't lie, and that's why Mason Heath wins this week's Gridiron Player of the Week.
100%. Best game all around that I've ever played.
Mason Heath stunned the entire sideline on Friday night.
And one of the things that's easily overlooked is he had an interception also returned for a 2-point conversion, and he had 11 tackles. So he had 4 touchdowns on offense and over 100 yards rushing, and he had 11 tackles playing defense. So I'm sure he was pretty tired the next day.
Heath had the type of performance that makes you do a double take.
It feels weird because you do it in the game and then you see it afterwards on film and stuff, and it's like it never happened. Like it's just all a blur. But when you're in the game, you just see the open field, you take off running and have fun, I guess.
Have fun and have a game for the Heath history books.
So after the game, I told him, I said, you know, in his career, it was probably his best offensive game he's ever had, and he agreed, and he smiled real big.
It takes a whole team to put on a show, and it took a battle in the trenches to open up the green.
Each individual block that you have, you know, had a difference because you did your job. and if you don't do your job, he can't have those plays. So it's a good job whenever we block, and then after they get a touchdown, we get a thank you.
Trust me, the O-line got lots of thank yous that night. The biggest one came on a 42-yard touchdown run as Heath hugged the line and took it to the house.
It feels amazing. It feels like you feel great afterwards knowing that your team blocked and did everything that they did for you to have a game like that.
The type of game that can happen all season long. All it takes is one thing: trust.
Coach Crow says a speech before we nominate our captains. It's, who do you want to pack your parachute? Who would you trust? And we have a lot of trust for Mason.
Who do you want to pack your parachute? Now that is a lot of trust. I mean, Kurt, Matt, would you trust me to pack your parachute?
Well, I like you, but no.
No.
To be fair, I don't know that I would trust anyone to pack my parachute. I'm just kind of paranoid on that one.
That's fair. That's fair.
You know.
Can we address this?
Look, it took 5 weeks, but he finally cashed in.
Oklahoma State beat my Arizona State Sun Devils. We had a bet. One would have to wear the opposing team's colors on air. That's why I'm in this hideous throw-up color. I wouldn't want to see.
Matt, you're in orange?
I'm in orange. Yeah, Nicole Sharon can't see me, but I am donning a Curtis Quillen Nike polo.
It's very big. I'm much larger than you.
It is the same color as fire, which is where this might go at the end of the night.
Whatever. Area scores tonight, starting with Class 5A. We'll bring Nicole back for big picture. Shoemaker, 50-0 over Waco High. Yeah, Belton edges struggling Pflugerville Conley. That's a puzzling result, 24-21.
Yeah, that was a little closer than we thought. University, no! University couldn't get it done. 36-35, they lose to Elgin.
You ready for me to shock you? University can still play for a district title in Week 11. Lampasas all over Taylor tonight, 42-13, the only 4A score we don't have video of.
All right, how about Whitney, 58-0 over Dallas. It's an academic school, or whatever. Fairfield, 28-7 over Groesbeck.
It's that district's Vanderbilt.
Yes.
Teague takes down Mejia, 26-21. Buffalo over Clifton on the road tonight, 21-13.
Rogers looking for a big win. They got it, 44-0 over Florence.
Moving on to 2A, it's Valley Mills getting its first win of the season, 50-7. Kind of a shocking start to the season given the baseball run they had. And Marlin takes down Riesel, 48-23.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Thorndale over Holland, 56-54, right now in the fourth. And then Bremont falling to Granger, 31-28.
That Thorndale-Holland result could be interesting.
Yes.
In the long run.
You're high on Holland.
I'm high on Holland, but Thorndale that would be 2 wins in a row for Thorndale over Holland. Moving on through the rest of our area scores in 1A, it's Jonesboro with a Mercy Rule win over Santa Ana. Bishop Riker will play Fort Worth Mercy Culture Prep tomorrow.
Shorten it. No school needs a name that long.
Welcome to the private school.
Down. Live Oak, 26-22 over Round Brick Christian Crusaders. Gainesville State. Come on, seriously? We don't have a score for that one. Vanguard, just shorten down the school names. This is ridiculous.
Eagle Christian wins last night, 52-6, and apparently Matt Lively is old man yelling at Cloud. Let's bring
the Academy of the Glory, Holy Saints of Arkansas. I mean, like, what are we doing here?
Let's bring Nicole Sharon back into the fold and try to move on from the too long names for.
I'm upset in this shirt. I just want this show to be over. I'm like looking at the clock. We have 4 minutes. Let's roll in this thing. Come on.
Okay, guys. District 4, 5A Division 1. Are we comfortable saying it is a 5-team race after tonight's 5-team race for 4 playoff spots after tonight's results?
Pretty much. I mean, geez, it's going to come right down to the wire, and we're going to have some pretty good game of the weeks, I think, coming down.
Nicole?
Absolutely. No, I mean, absolutely, 100%. Y'all saw the game of the week tonight. Ellison and Colleen, they battled it out till the very end, so we're going to have some very interesting matchups.
I would like to turn our attention now to District 12, 6A. Midway at 2 and math, 2 and 5, 2 and 6.
This is not why you signed up for this gig.
I think 2 and 6. I was told there would be no math. Chevy Chase, right? Midway at 2 and 6, I believe, could be a playoff team because remember, 4 of those non-district, they don't count for the playoff picture. Midway takes down Copper's Cove tonight,
right.
But the one I really want to talk about, because Midway is proving that it is, I think, in the top 4 in this district. Can we talk about Temple and Hutto? Midway had no problem with Hutto. the Hippos gave Temple everything it could handle, 31-27 the final there. Temple gets Harker Heights next week.
I was just going to ask, who is Temple going to have to play next week? I don't want to give anything away, but it's our game of the week. You don't have to watch on Monday. It's our game of the week. Harker Heights is so good. They're so good. And Temple, after this, maybe they're going to be hungry. It's a 4-point win over Hutto. Maybe they bring it to Harker Heights and they bring the energy at Leo Buckley, but man, Heights is legit.
And the transitive property doesn't work very well in high school. No. Nicole, what do you make of Temple's result tonight? Or do you just look at it as they won and you take the win?
No, guys, I don't look at it as they won and take the win. We're in this part of the season where if you're going to win, you can't just slip by at this point. Yeah, a win's a win, but if I'm Temple, I'm a little concerned, okay? I'm a little concerned. However, I will say Harker Heights is a strong team, like you said, Matt, but Temple's going to go in with wanting some revenge and wanting to prove themselves out there on the field. So it really could go either way for this Temple team, but they got to fix something this week because something was off tonight. 3
straight years, Harker Heights has led at the half on Temple, and Temple's won all 3 of those matches.
Nicky Latarula was out there last year. It was a crazy game.
And I was there the 2 years before that, and it was absolutely bonkers. Okay, I would like to talk for a minute about Aaron Hunter's Gatesville Hornets, because from the halfway point of the second quarter, they outscored Salado 49-21.
Good math.
I did good math. Guys,
great math, Kurt.
Is Gatesville a playoff team?
Last week they weren't against Connolly, and then this week
they are.
Yeah, they had that MJ secret stuff. That was an impressive win, especially over Salado, who great coach, and Tom Westerberg. I'm sure he's not very happy right now. I'm really surprised that Gatesville was able to turn it on like they did.
Same here, pleasantly surprised in their favor. Nicole, what do you make of this? It's a 5-team district, so it just takes one. Just takes one win.
So over the speakers at Searle Stadium, I was standing on the sideline. They announced the score, and my mouth dropped. I was very surprised that Gatesville was leading. No offense, I just was very shocked. I turned to the guy standing next to me and I go, wait, did they just say Gatesville's leading? So I'm surprised because, like Matt said, going from last week against Connolly, obviously a very strong program, to then Salado, also coached by a very strong coach in Tom Westerberg. I wouldn't run away with this saying, oh, Gatesville all the way to the playoffs, but it is a step in the right direction.
To show you how much of a turnaround that was in the last 30 minutes of a 48-minute game. Sorry, guys, I've been up since 6 a.m. Central Time.
Stop trying to do math. Stop
and so in the last, 2/3 of this game, the turnaround. Not one clip in that video you just saw of the game was a Gatesville highlight because there were a grand total of 0 Gatesville highlights while I was at the game. Impressive turnaround. Okay, as we end the show, we got less than 2 minutes. One thing that contributed to Baylor's loss, we always talk Baylor at the end of it because they are the Central Texas pro team. They're the major college team here. One major contributing factor to the loss last night, I'm going first because I was at the game and I'm also sports director, and I'm going with losing the turnover battle. They lost it 3-1, Nicole.
Okay, you said one, but quickly, the Baylor defense had no energy. Second, they did it themselves. It's their own mistakes that cost them the game.
Matt.
I'm going to say this. Coming into Oklahoma State, 18 straight games where they did not allow 30 points. 2 straight games since then where they have allowed 30 points.
36 and 43.
This defense has just fallen apart at the seams. I'm kind of shell-shocked.
Yeah, it's bad. They'll hope to fix it, but you look at the rest of the schedule, and some of the people in the post-game press conference room last night playing find the wins, and Kansas and Oklahoma and Texas Tech. It's going to be a rough second half of the season for the Bears. Hope they can get to bowl eligible. Nicole Sharon, awesome at the game of the week tonight. We will see you later. That's our time for week 8 of the high school football season.
Getting this off.
I love this orange on Matt.
Go Sun Devils! Go Sun Devils!
We'll see you next week.
Take us out of here.
Under the lights.